Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nikita Chauhan, and it's a pleasure to be here. Without wasting any more time, I'll just jump directly to what we had to propose today. Now, what has to be done? The perspective of what has to be done has discussed in detail at length right now. So we need to focus on how it is to be done. When we talk about digitization of courts, we also need to understand how we will do it so that the process can be made easier. Now, when we look at the population of India, it will be unfair to assume that everybody is digitally literate, because that is not the case in India. A lot of population comes from rural backgrounds, and as it has been mentioned here that most of the backlog of cases is at quasi judicial or lower courts. Those are the most burdened bodies right now. It is also unfair to assume that people working there, the professionals there, are digitally literate, because for many years they have been in the process in physically practicing law. So we cannot expect them to just transform into digital literacy at very suddenly. So first thing that needs to be done is we need to have a framework. What we suggest is a consolidated database, a search engine by the government, wherein all kinds of laws are available to people. This will be helpful for not only common man but also for law professionals, because I believe that everybody here will agree with me that when we have to search for, let's say, a law or a case law, it is a very time taking process. You have to navigate a lot. You'll have to go for, when you have to search for a case law, you'll have to go to different platforms, and especially when it comes to local laws, the system is very widespread and searching for laws can be a very tedious task. So if the government can introduce one single search engine wherein the entire database is there, obviously this is a very far-fetched idea, but because we have 25 years, I think it can be implemented in a very efficient manner. That there should be one single search engine where people can go and search for the kind of laws that are required. If somebody has to file a case, the legal literacy in citizens comes right there, that if someone has to file a case, they will not need to go to a lawyer first. They can firstly check their rights, they can check the remedies, they can check what is going to happen through that search engine. And that will also be helpful obviously for the legal professionals, because it will cut on a lot of time that is taken for researching for such laws or case laws. Now secondly, the role of AI will also come in here, because the legal jargon can also be very complicated for a layman. A common man might not understand the provisions per se. So here we can introduce an AI assisted system wherein the language is simplified. When a person is not able to understand any provision, the language is simplified, or maybe even provided in different languages, whichever language the person is comfortable in. So, firstly, for the legal professionals, I'd suggest that there can be seminars, training programs, and obviously non-legal professionals, basically professionals from technical background, can come in here, the role of them to assist them and guide them on how this entire process can be carried out. And secondly, for common man, again, this is a very challenging process because everybody might not know how to use it. And for that, I'll suggest that because there are a lot of rural areas in India, and people are not legally or digitally literate there, we need to reach those areas firstly. So there can be an establishment of government agencies there, because NGOs work, but there is a limitation on NGOs, and nobody can hold them accountable. That is why here comes the role of government agencies in smaller rural areas in different districts. Because at this point of time, if government agencies are opened there which give free legal aid, it will definitely help citizens to get legal advice at a more easier level, because there are financial constraints, time related constraints. So when the process is free and easily accessible in every region, that can be very helpful. Plus, these agencies can deploy legal students as interns, because one thing that we know is every legal student has to mandatorily do internships, and everybody wants internships. And at this point of time, there are a lot of students who come from rural areas itself. And those students have to actually travel to different cities or different places to get an internship and work there. So it would be better that if that person, if a legal student is from a rural area and there is an agency in such a rural area which spreads awareness about both the framework, the digital framework as well as law, that legal student can definitely intern right there. Because we don't have, I don't think there is any deficiency of legal students today. And when there is an intersection between digital framework and law, our generation, I think, is the best suitable for explaining into people. They can explain it in a very easy manner. So to provide literacy and awareness to common men, especially in rural areas. Agencies can be made which have interns, legal interns, and it can be made mandatory that, let's say that there is a 20-week internship that is compulsory. So 1 month you have to go and intern at such and such place in a rural area, where you make people aware of such things, so that when the common that right now is that everybody thinks that law is a very complicated thing and going to courts is a very tedious task. So when a system has to be made citizen centric, it is very important that that belief is changed, that people think that law is very easy and accessing law is even easier. And for that, it is very important that the system is friendly to them, so that they don't feel burdened that, I'm not able to understand this certain law, or that I don't know how I will do it, so that they don't have to take out their own take out time and have to spend financial resources to do it. And that is where I hope that this will be an effective suggestion when it comes to a plan which we are imagining at 2047 right now. Thank you.